Franchising is holding back soccer in the United States, and unfortunately, the Columbus Crew fans are most likely about to learn that painful lesson. They're also probably going to learn about MK Dons and AFC Wimbledon along the way. If you've somehow missed the news this morning, Columbus Crew's ownership has announced their intentions to move to Austin, Texas for the 2019 season, unless the city of Columbus throws in a gigantic sum of money to build a new stadium in Columbus, Ohio. The Crew have their own stadium, but it was built in 1999. It's kind of a no-frills, because that's kind of how soccer was in the United States back in 1999. And their attendance is low. Like, I want to say it's like 20th out of 22 or something like that in the league is what I read. Attendance dropped according to the Columbus Crew website. Let's go take a look at that. You can see it here, from 17,125 to 15,439. That's about a 9.8% drop in 2017, and they've made the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs, I don't believe, last season. Let's look. Yep, they didn't make it last season. So this is relatively big news. And it's not just for the Columbus Crew fans. I'm sorry for your potential and most likely loss. But I think it underlines one of the major problems in soccer in the United States with franchising. The fact that an ownership group can say, build us a stadium, city, and essentially hold the taxpayers and the mayor and whoever, the elected officials in Columbus hostage to threaten to move their club to Austin is a major problem. It wouldn't be as big of a problem if we had an open soccer system where the fans in Columbus could say, go ahead, mate, move to Austin. Good luck, because we're starting FC Columbus. We're going to start a new club that's going to rise from the ashes in Columbus, Ohio, and compete. We'll start at a low level and we'll work our way up, right? That's what, if you're a Columbus Crew fan and you've not heard of MK Dons, like DONS, MK Dons, go look them up. Because that's what happened over in England. It was it Wimbledon FC or FC? It was a club in Wimbledon, and essentially new ownership wanted to move it down the road, essentially, to Milton Keynes. Fans didn't want that to happen. Ownership said, I own the club, we're moving. Move the club, and the fans rallied together and said, we're going to have a football club in our town, and they started AFC Wimbledon. And now there's, like, obviously this very intense rivalry between the two clubs because they're still relatively close together. And I'm imagining those people don't like each other. But this is the problem with franchising is you have to look at it as from a business standpoint. The people running MLS and Soccer United Marketing and US Soccer they're not dumb people, right? Like, they're established, wealthy business, mostly men, right? The fact that there are franchises or potential franchises willing to pay $150 million expansion fees to get into MLS should give you an idea of the success of the league. Because at the end of the day, if people are willing to pay that much, it becomes like NBA, MLB, where like, right, the St. Louis Rams moved to Los Angeles and their attendance has gone through the floor because of it, right? So they leave an established fan base. They weren't the best, to be fair. Like, it wasn't like they were selling out every game, whatever. But they moved because the ownership group couldn't get what they wanted, and LA or whatever city in California they actually play in was willing to probably help them out. Probably there's some tax subsidies. I don't actually know as much about that because I'm not that into the NFL. But it's the fact that you can up and move a team or threaten to move a team to try and get the local taxpayers to pay for stuff, the stadium, tax breaks, whatever it is for your club. This is a major problem. But when you look at it, I was reading an article. The Columbus Crew were sold in 2013 to a new owner. The reported number is $68 million. Now, the reports that are coming out this morning are saying he always had the intention of moving it to Austin. Always did. never wanted to keep it in Columbus, moving it to Austin. And it's like, wow, you're leaving an established fan base. You're leaving all these things. Like, could you really pack out a stadium in Austin? Is Austin going to give you some sort of benefit to help you build a stadium or whatever? But you still have to have fans. Like, that's kind of an important aspect of it. But look at the long game. People are willing to pay $150 million for a franchise. So if you can get yours for $68 million, you can move it. You can eat losses for 10, 15, 20 years until MLS stops expanding, and then supply and demand kicks in. If there aren't any more potential MLS teams that you can go out and buy, right? Like, we're not going to have 150 MLS franchises. So let's say they stop at, 30, and you have one of the 30 pieces of the pie. As the sport grows, even if it's extremely slow because of the setup of the league, as it grows, your $68 million investment into that piece of the pie is automatically going to get bigger because there's no other options available. So this is big news because maybe there's enough anger about this to get something done, but I don't like, this is indicative to me of why Pro Rel probably doesn't have a chance in the United States, which means the United States isn't really going to be good in soccer forever, for a long time, right? There's so much benefit that comes from Pro Rel. And I'm going to do another video on this, but about how soccer in the United States is run as a business, which it should be, but not nearly as enough as a sport. So the lack of Pro Rel means you want to protect your franchises. You want to protect your owners. They're in it to make money, right? The guy who bought the Columbus Crew didn't buy it because he loves soccer, right? He saw it as an investment opportunity. And if you can move it to Austin and get a slightly larger return on his investment, or maybe a potentially huge return on his investment, or force Columbus and the taxpayers there to pay to benefit his club for free, then he's going to do that. Versus if you don't have franchises, I think it's more difficult to pull that off, right? Because Austin would have their own club that would form, and someone could take Columbus's spot, in the Columbus market and rally some fans and stuff like that. So franchising gives me little hope for the future of Pro Rel in the United States. If you're going to change Pro Rel, like it'll have to be long in the future so that the current owners can figure a way to get out of their investment, or you offer some sort of payment to help them get out of their investment. Again, I'm going to talk about Pro Rel in the future, but I wanted to get this out there because this is, I think, a really, really big deal. I love your thoughts on it. What do you think about Columbus announcing their intention to move to Austin, Texas? I don't know, the Austin Crew, that seems it's like a dagger in the heart of Columbus fans. What do you think about franchising? How would you fix it? How would you reasonably fix it? Because you can't just say, like, end-all franchising. Like, you can't just snap your fingers and have that happen. There's bajillions of dollars in the current system. So how do you unwind that without destroying the whole system? Leave a thought, leave a comment, smash a like, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and then share this video. The more you share it, the more eyes that are on it. We've had some really good discussion in the last 4 videos about how to fix U.S. soccer. Really intelligent conversation. Really enjoyed talking with you all. So I thought this was big enough news. I wasn't planning on putting out a video today, but I felt like I kind of needed to. So there it is. What are your thoughts?